And welcome to another week of the Prog.cast. Today, first thing we want to start out with is we have our No Sweat intro video. So take a look.
Hey, do you have a friend who you think would be a good fit at Progression Fitness? Or somebody who's been asking you on how to get more information about signing up at the gym? Here's a few easy steps to get your friend started today. Pull up a web browser. Head to cfpfit.com. Next, scroll down until you get that says schedule your No Sweat intro today. Go ahead and click on it. Once on this page, head down to No Sweat Intro and click. For the widest availability, click Any Available, and then select a time that works best. It's as simple as that. See you at the gym.
And again, so that was our No Sweat intro video. If you're wondering how you can sign one of your friends up who you think would be a great fit here at Progression, that's how you do it. Otherwise, ask a coach or anybody will be able to help sign your friend up. It's as easy as heading to our website and clicking on the No Sweat intro bar. Sponsor this week for the show, Club 83. This Sunday, live from Club 83, also known as a progression room, also known as a yoga room, also known as a personal training room, but we all know it as Club 83. We'll be showing live the Bills versus Vikings game. We'll have some tables out. I know, right? We'll have some tables out, chairs. If you want to bring a healthy snack, do it. Okay. We'll have, last week, Jordan made some killer paleo chili. It was fantastic when we were testing out the projector watching the Vikings 2 weeks ago, Vikings versus their home versus San Francisco. Again, this could be great this Sunday. You're going to get to see Stefon Diggs 10 feet tall on the wall. This could be fantastic. Again, if you're interested in sponsoring one of these podcast shows, this is a real thing, hit us up. We'll give your business, your company, your side hustle a shout out if you want to sponsor one of our shows. Please PM myself or Josh. Okay, PM Nick. If you'd like to be a sponsor. I'll just need an infographic, and we'll give you a shout-out. Let's look at September events one more time. We've seen this a bunch. We're through Labor Day. We've done the Spinal Hygiene Clinic, which was fantastic. Check out the new yoga schedule. I'll leave this up for a little bit. Progression Nutrition. Remember that No Sweat intro video we just showed you. You can also sign up for a free nutrition appointment with Jen or Julie via that same bar. Upcoming events in the future, we have the Minnesota Open Weightlifting Championships, October 20th and 21st. You'll be seeing within the week a volunteer sheet come out. If you're interested in plate loading, it's like the NASCAR pit crew of weightlifting. It's a blast, and we usually throw out a couple fit aids for the best plate loaders. Halloween party at Club 83, October 27th. If you're not there, I don't know what you're doing, but you should be there. Turkey Throwdown Saturday, November 17th. We have 7 of 20 team spots filled so far. They're going to fill up really fast. We're getting ready to announce some of the WODs as well as soon as we see more teams signed up. So as people sign up, please be ready. We'll start to send out all the WODs, and you can see what you're going to be in for that weekend. Turkey Throwdown, again, September, November 17th. It's just a fun, friendly in-house gym competition for bragging rights. Also, best team name is usually a pretty big deal as well. We have a few good names so far, so keep that going. And with that, let's get into our question and answer for the day. Again, I'm your show host, Nick Scudamore, also known as Coach Nick. This is Josh Grinnell sitting next to me, and we're here to answer all of your questions, hopefully. So, let's get it started. First question today, and I put this in the show notes already. I try to link daily, so check the show notes always. I try to link a mobility video every time we do this because we usually get some kind of mobility question, so I figured, well, we better make this a weekly thing. What are some good mobility moves to do at your desk during the workday? So I have this video today. Again, it's Kelly Starrett. And the reason I push Kelly Starrett so much is he has a lot of awesome free content. He's not the only person, but he's a PT. He's sharing really basic PT knowledge, but he breaks it down so it's simple for everybody to follow. The video, again, is in the show link. It's Kelly Starrett, how to stay mobile at your desk. And what you're going to notice is he actually talks a lot about your posture and how you sit. Very interesting stuff. Take a listen, take a look at it if you're interested at some good mobility moves to do at your desk during the workday. Let's head on to question 2.
Hey, let's give some props to John Colbert for the wall.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't checked this out behind us.
People are already commenting on it.
Yeah, the wall is a big hit according to Facebook. We're excited for the new background. Hope you guys like it too. Yeah, John, Josh, long weekend.
4 hours.
Slapping some wood on the wall.
4 hours, we got it done.
There you go. Next question. What's better for building overall strength? Barbell or kettlebell / dumbbells? I'll start out on this one. I think first it comes down to personal preference, and it also comes down to what is your definition of building strength. Okay, what are your goals? We talk about that every week usually on some question. What are your goals? What do you want to do? Okay, if you want to be generally strong, pick your favorite one. Do it consistently 3 to 4 days a week for as long as you can, hopefully the rest of your life. If we're talking maximal absolute strength on specific lifts like the power lifts, deadlift, bench press, back squat, well, the benefit to training on a barbell is you can load more weight on it easily. And yes, you could find 200-pound kettlebells, and I know there's 150-pound plus dumbbells out there, but they're very hard to come across, and they're super expensive. So if you could find those, they're great training tools, but it's going to be very rare that you're going to find those pieces of equipment in most gyms. But that's what makes the barbell so accessible, is that you can pile on lots of weight on there. Josh, you got anything to add on that one?
No, it's all individualized. What are your goals? I mean, brute overall strength, the barbell's the answer, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
But you can get really strong with kettlebells. And I know, do you remember that guy's name from...
Pavel Tetzley.
No.
Sorry.
He owns some kettlebell gyms in Wisconsin. He was at that one event.
Oh, the strong first thing we went to?
No.
Was he just really strong? What was the defining feature of
the
this
thing
guy?
was he just worked with kettlebells. He trained exclusively in kettlebells, and he did CrossFit competitions.
Oh, fantastic.
This is way back when, though, and he did very well. And he pulled 520 in the deadlift, I think, and he said he only deadlifts like in competitions. Otherwise, it's all bell work.
Yep.
So he does a lot of double bell work. So you can get really strong with kettlebells as well.
Again, it comes down to that goals and consistency factor, like everything we talk about in the gym.
Yeah, and the other thing is it's hard to give a accurate answer to a lot of these questions because we don't know all the details. So that's why we're here. So feel free to hit us up and ask us.
Yeah, and if you're interested in specific strength pursuits, that's another good reason to check out some personal training with your favorite coach, maybe.
Or your least favorite coach.
Or your least favorite coach, because maybe they're going to push you the hardest.
Yeah.
The one who's going to tell you what you need to know.
Pick that asshole coach. And say, I'm full though, guys. Sorry.
I thought you were talking about me. All right, next question. Have you ever thought about a gymnastics class or seminar? Josh, what do you think of this? Adding classes, seminars.
Gymnastics class. Yeah, I thought about that. It's probably better approach than like an add-on class, a specialty class.
Yeah.
Again, we would need someone who, I guess pretty much any of the coaches could coach it. Michael would be really great. Mm-hmm. Seminar, yeah, that'd be great. That's a great option for a seminar.
We're totally up for it. I think the hardest thing is finding a coach who wants to staff it and do it. So if you have a favorite coach and you go to them from gymnastics all the time, encourage them. Or if you know a gymnastics person, we're always open to ideas. So shoot their name our way. That's the hardest thing, again, is finding a gymnastics specialist who's comfortable teaching a whole seminar on it or creating that class.
Yeah, and I think, we're going to start having more specialty classes again soon, hopefully, when things start to calm down on here. There's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. But
a lot of good stuff.
But it should start to calm down, so hopefully we can get some coaches that will have some time and energy left to run some specialty classes.
Yeah. All right, next question. Would you recommend a belt for lifting? So we had two questions that were essentially this. Would you recommend a belt for lifting? I tend to be a minimalist kind of person, no chalk in the woods, so only want to adopt tools that will truly help me. Okay, I think the other question was similar too. So Yes and no to this question. For me, I'll start out here. For really, really lightweights and like high repetitions in WOD, sometimes I don't think it's as necessary as we see it being used in the gym. It's, again, if it helps you, the biggest reason I think you should do it is if it helps you remember to brace your core and to properly load when you're doing any loaded movement. Okay. Now, with that being said, I also think it's important to be comfortable bracing your core without the use of a belt. Because what are you doing when you're not using a belt? Because you're not going to use a belt in every WOD, and you can't tell me that you shouldn't be bracing your core properly on a burpee. And please don't wear a belt to do burpees. That's not going to be comfortable either. I think I'm a big fan of belts, specifically for heavy lifting. But otherwise, I think it's really personal preference. And at a certain point, like if you're going for double body weights or you get into like powerlifting competitions or something like that, I think it's a really good idea for safety's sake.
Yeah, if you, I wrote my blog post on no chalk in the woods. Where is that in this question? I said that.
Yeah.
No chalk in the woods. My blog post on this actually talks about belts as well. So I'll help Nick find that in the depths of the internet, so we can put it in the show notes. But I agree. If you need a belt, definitely wear it. I wouldn't seek out a belt if you don't need it.
Right. Good reasons to use a belt, maybe if you have a history of back issues.
Yep, or you have a history of not being able to remember to brace your core. All kinds of reasons to wear belts. There's just as many reasons not to. Yeah, it's just another tool in the toolbox, right?
Mm-hmm. And if you are going heavy enough where you need a belt, we're not going to sugarcoat it. Going super, super heavy on weights, like when you see these people doing double, triple body weight movements, like with back squats or double body weight clean jerks, that's not necessarily great. There's like, we talk about this oftentimes, and if you really, really follow the CrossFit methodology, is being well-rounded. Being well-rounded isn't having, a 600-pound deadlift and a 12-minute mile. So I guess my question, again, specifics on this question, what is your main focus? If your main focus is to break the powerlifting world records, yeah, I'd be wearing a belt.
Yeah, and you're. Also, you're not going to have a belt in real life, probably. So, if you're looking just to be able to display your fitness outside the gym, relying on a belt all the time isn't probably doesn't go towards that end, those ends. But
I think too, if you again, another good reason maybe is if you have a low back injury or sore low back, or you're just coming back from something, to get that core bracing going on again, it's a great time to use a belt. I know there's a lot of people, you can read on the internet, like Josh said, there's as many reasons to wear a belt as to not wear a belt. And you go on the internet, you'll see camps of people who are like, if you're not wearing a belt, you're stupid. And you'll have people who are like, if you only wear a belt, you're not doing yourself a justice training your core. And I think I definitely fall more in that camp. Train your core, learn how to brace properly. And then in the future, if you need the belt, and you're getting really heavy into lifting, then it's a good time. So
yeah, you've really stirred my thoughts with a couple things you said here. Coming back, we've had some people come back from either just taking time off or coming back from an injury, and we need to make sure that we are doing that appropriately. We can't just jump back into where we were before.
Right.
And then talking about the core, and coming back, I'm in that situation right now. I've taken the last 6 to 8 months off of my 3 to 4 time a week CrossFit. And I've been training for mainly Spartans, so I've been running a lot. I've been doing a lot of grip work. I haven't been in a lot of classes, and I'm just started to come back, and I'm trying to be smart about it. I immediately noticed the difference in my workouts being around the group. I'm much more intense, but I also know that I've lost a ton of core stability, and I don't really know why, but my core is nowhere near where it was when I switched to my alternative programming. And I did a lot of grip work, which I thought would carry over into my core work, but it hasn't. So that's been pretty interesting for me to know about myself and learn.
It's nothing like heavy back squats, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the lack of back squats, and definitely not the lack of sit-ups.
That's right.
But I think it's the lack of the barbell being in the front rack position or my back is probably the main.
And forcing your core to brace.
Yeah, the main reason my core disappeared.
And coming back to that question, if Josh is coming back, it could be a good reason to use a belt to get him to turn that core back on again, slowly working into squats. But again, anytime we talked about this with wrist wraps last week, just to close it up, you don't ever want to have to rely on something. Like if you can't do a WOD because you don't have your belt, that's not a good thing. So, next question. Good questions, crew. We got a lot today. All right. I was reading about the Valsalva maneuver for breathing on the Art of Manliness. Link is inserted. Thank you. Question asker. I have found lots of movements in CrossFit that I struggle with. After the WOD, I realized, crap, I wasn't breathing. Now that I'm typing this, it sounds dumb, but I think it's still a legit question. What do you recommend for breathing during workouts, lifts, obviously other than doing it?
This is all you, Nick, because you're the one that, even in class, you're telling me how to breathe.
So I don't know. What I always take away from this is if you're not breathing or if you're not aware of how you're breathing, then you're not in control of your workout. So if you're constantly redline and gasping for breath, can't focus, and you're having to stop in the middle of workouts, you've lost control of your workout, obviously. So, and I guess I should back this up to the Valsalva maneuver. So whenever we do any kind of like back squatting, deadlifting, Olympic weightlifting, it's this thought where you breathe into your stomach. A lot of time people just breathe into their chest. But if you lay in the ground and you were to place your cell phone on your stomach, okay, and you breathe in, what you should see happen is you're going to see your stomach raise off, or your cell phone raise off your stomach if you breathe in correctly. All right, you're breathing in through your diaphragm, as they say. A lot of time you'll hear coaches say breathe into your stomach because it's simpler to think about, get your stomach to move. So when you do that, you should instantly have this full deep breath and you should feel your core brace and turn on. So this is what should happen before any strength lift. Right, so let's say I'm doing a back squat. I'll take that deep breath in, fill up my stomach, I'm breathing through my diaphragm, and I'm going to hold that the entire time through the squat until I'm coming up out of the squat. When it starts to get difficult, and I'll breathe out. It's that goofy breathing you always hear coaches talking about and doing. It's not to make you sound funny. It's seriously to protect your inner organs and to train your core, right, to get your core to brace. That's how you do it. So when you're working out, are you going to do that when you're riding the assault bike? No, that'd be ridiculous. That's going to tire you out. But you should be thinking, it's a different type of breathing, right? So what you should be thinking about to control pacing in a workout, if you're in a longer workout, how do you set yourself up for that? Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth as long as you can will help keep your body from panicking and freaking out and then like, oh my God, I'm dying and I got to stop for a minute and then restart my long workout. But let's say we're no longer workout, like a 20-minute plus AMRAP, okay? Or like Murph. You don't want to be redlining and uncontrollably breathing. If you can control your breath, the longer you can do that, the better your workout's going to be, the more consistent it's going to be. You might feel like you're going slower at first, but you're going to hold a stronger pace, and that's what it's about, the strongest possible pace. A really good example of this, if you follow the games over the years, is look at Rich Froning. Does he ever look like he's really struggling that bad? Yeah, there's some really gross workouts, but a lot of times Rich looks totally in control. Same thing with Frazier. Sometimes he looks like he's in total pain, but he's usually controlling his breathing. And if you ever follow like any Chris Hinshaw, is that the name, right? I think he talks a lot about breathing as well. He's a CrossFit endurance guy. So again, control your breathing, control your workout. That goes for strength. That especially goes for your watts. I don't know. Did that stir any thoughts for you, Josh?
No, I remember back in the day when Corey ran a kettlebell class here, and I learned a lot about breathing.
Oh my God!
But so whenever I swing, it comes back. But on other stuff, I kind of forget sometimes too. So
it's just something to be aware of. It's like good posture. Do we expect you to be in it 100% of the time? Probably not realistic. But if you're thinking about checking your posture, I mean, same thing. Think about how you're breathing and make that a habit for the next couple of weeks, and you'll ingrain it. Great question. Great question. Nick, you were at the American Open coaching some lifters this past weekend. Can you tell us a little about what goes on at an event like this and how training for it is different than just coming and doing WODs every week? Sure. So it was called the American Open Series 3. It's like a regional level event, which leads to one of our highest national level events if you're into the weightlifting circles, called the American Open, which is going to be in Milwaukee. This one was just out in Las Vegas. Is a Olympic weightlifting competition. So all that's comprised of is 3 snatches and 3 clean and jerks. And your goal is to get the heaviest total possible via your heaviest snatch and your heaviest clean and jerk that you make. So if I snatch 100 and I clean and jerk 200, my total is 300. That's my score, and you're ranked accordingly with everybody else. So how the training is different from like attending class every day. So we all know CrossFit is the best GPP program in the world. Okay, It crushes it. You'd be hard to find a better program than that. There isn't one. So this is like a specific event. This is also, I would relate this to if you're going to go specifically train for a Spartan race or specifically train for a marathon. In this case, it was specifically training for weightlifting. So what changes from when you're just coming and doing WODs is you're going into a special focus. Okay, so the GPP is your overall background training that everybody should have. That's you're doing your CrossFit classes 3-4 days a week. So maybe for, I would say probably at least 3 months out, what I would recommend from an event is planning a little more specific focus towards your specific event. So if you're going to go do this weightlifting meet, then you're going to be focusing on weightlifting training for the 3 months leading out. Does that mean you do 0 GPP or CrossFit classes? No. But that means the focus is going to shift from, if you're doing CrossFit 3 to 5 days a week, you'd now be doing weightlifting 3 to 5 days a week, and maybe CrossFit or like a rev class 2 days a week or 3 days a week at most. But again, the majority of your training would switch to the weightlifting. All right. And I think the same would go, Josh would probably maybe say the same thing about marathon training or training for longer Spartan races if you were serious about the Spartan race.
Yes.
So more specialized training to get the results you want. And that's the biggest difference, okay? And you can prepare, you're already going to be pretty prepared if you're doing CrossFit 4 or 5 days a week and you train on the barbell every single day. For a weightlifting meet, you're going to know what the snatch and the clean and jerk is. But what are you going to miss versus if you're doing the WODs versus if you're doing specific weightlifting training? You'd miss the fact that you'd be missing, is it really shaky?
Yeah, it's jumpy again.
Darn it. What you would be missing is that the specific of going heavy on the snatch and the clean and jerk. Okay, so you might be hitting like an 80% weight in a WOD, but are you ready to do the heaviest singles you can at a meet? So the idea is when you plan your programming, you're planning for specific results on a specific date. And that's the biggest difference when you're planning for a specific event. So the same would go for an athlete training for the Granite Games or the CrossFit Open or these games athletes, right? So they're planning their training to be in the best shape of their life at a specific time. At the weightlifting meet, I'm planning to lift the heaviest weights on this date, this weekend. And does it always work out perfectly? No. But when you plan your training to get certain results, you have a much higher chance of succeeding. Sorry for the choppiness. I hooked up to the wrong Wi-Fi. If I shut it off, it will totally tank the entire podcast. Yep. So we're going to run with it for today.
It'll be good in replay, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be good in replay or whatnot. So really great question here. What's up, Josh?
Speaking on that, I heard this story about opera singers and how they live their entire life. This is about opera singers in New York who do this for a living. They live their entire life to be at their peak physical condition at 8 p.m. at night every day.
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty insane what they do. But I mean, that's all they do. So
specific goals.
Yep, specific goals. Mm-hmm. So.
And then when you come out of that, it's not saying you would never do GPP program or CrossFit again. There's always a time and place for that stuff. And if you're a weightlifter, if you're a marathon runner, if you're a Spartan racer or a power lifter, right? You still need that overall conditioning to make it through your training program. So I can't stress that enough. And I think the really cool thing about CrossFit is that it opens you up to the world of all this stuff. Maybe not opera singing, but
yeah.
Now it does. It did today.
Yep.
But you touch on all these things just a little bit, right? And you have this well-rounded fitness base that makes it easier to go and try these things. So you go train for something for 2 to 3 months, focusing on that specific endeavor, and then you go back into your GPP program. It's a really good, or CrossFit program. It's a really, really good switch between training. It will keep things really interesting too. All right, really good questions today, guys. Okay, at least one of you has told me multiple times that I look amazing in a tank top. When will CFP stock men's tanks? So, Josh, did you want to take this one?
No, but I will. Men's tank tops are finally coming around to where they're actually like, okay, I guess. So if we make the decision, say today, that we're going to stock some men's tank tops, you can expect them in about 2 months, because that's about how long it takes to get a short order done.
Mm-hmm. Well, you definitely do a pre-order.
Yeah, same thing, 2 months. So, yeah, that's all I'm really going to say about that, I guess.
So 2 months.
Yeah, we can expect them in 2 months, guys.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's get together that pre-order. All right. CrossFit Games question. Tia Toomey. So she is the reigning, two times game champ now? Yeah, so 2 times in a row. So she just won it again. She's from Australia. She's moving to Cooksville to train at CrossFit Mayhem. That's Rich Froning's gym. How do you think this affects the games for her with the new changes? Last year in the Open, she was 3rd in Australia. Surely she will have more competition in the U.S. Well, I don't think it matters a whole lot anymore where you're from. I think because with the new game standards qualifying, you just have to go to one of these qualifying events or win the CrossFit Open, and you qualify. So I don't think...
As far as we know, we haven't really gotten an official word yet.
That's true.
We've got a lot of hearsay.
And then,
word from an official source, but not the official word.
Oof. Not word. Listen to that. Word from the official source, but not the official word. All right. Interesting. So I don't think it changes it that much. She's still going to have to qualify. She's still the fittest woman on the planet. I don't think she's going to have an issue doing that. Let's talk coffee, because it's amazing. I hand burr grind whole beans from Stonehouse Coffee in Nisswa, Minnesota, and brew in an AeroPress. It's the best. What are your preferred beans and brew methods? I like Folgers Colombian if I'm feeling fancy, and then I just like a good old-fashioned percolator. What about you, Josh?
Folgers.
You can't beat it. Double Folgers.
Double Folgers.
Double Folgers is good.
No, actually, I used to be a Folgers guy. Nothing wrong with that. Now we buy the Velvet Hammer.
Ooh, it is good.
Velvet Hammer at Sam's Club, and I grind that every morning and just do a normal coffee maker.
I'm a huge fan of just Dunn Brothers. Somebody else does it for me.
Yeah, I love Dunn Brothers as well. Mm-hmm. Even though today I had Starbucks, but
we should get them to sponsor the show. We could do that for
Dunn
sure.
Brothers? Oh,
yeah,
I know those guys.
That'd be great. We'll display their coffee beans behind us.
Yeah.
Next question. What do you do, if anything, to get a workout in when you're traveling and can't get into a gym, other than running?
Thrusters, burpees.
Thrusters, burpees. What would you grab? Just a dumbbell out of the hotel gym?
Whatever they got. Yep.
Suitcase?
Thrusters, burpees. If they have a hotel gym, it's thrusters and burpees almost every time if I'm not running.
If you have a good backpack with a sturdy handle, you could turn that into a kettlebell.
Yep.
You could swing that between your legs. Just load it up with all your clothes, your belongings. Swing away. I know this is a little different than running. Still kind of the same, so I don't know if you'll like this one. But running up and down stairs is fantastic. That'll tire you out. That's something we don't do often, as we don't have large sets of stairs like a lot of hotels do. Otherwise, I always like to emphasize there's nothing wrong with going on vacation and just being on vacation. I think that's healthy too sometimes.
Yep, as long as you are consistent other times.
Yep, exactly. If you constantly hit the gym 4 days a week, 365 days a year, and you take that two-week vacation, nothing wrong with chilling out for 2 weeks. You won't lose very much. It's going to feel like it for like 2 days, you'll be right back.
Yeah, if you're increasing your sleep, sometimes people come back thinner than when they left, even though they're eating worse just because of the increased sleep.
Yeah, so maybe prioritizing sleep, that's a good way to work out when you're traveling, or to improve your workout results when you get back from traveling, being well rested. And a lot of recovery talk always on this Prog.cast. Next question. How long after a competition, CrossFit, weightlifting, obstacle course race, etc., should one rest before coming back to train? So I think we've had this one almost every week too.
Similar theme, yeah. So again, just like last week when we talked about this, it really depends on how prepared you are for the competition, how much volume you did before the competition. Mm-hmm. I would want to be moving. I wouldn't take any more than a day off from moving.
Right.
But you should be moving within the next day or two for sure. I don't know how. If it was really devastating to your system, you probably don't want to do a WOD for a week maybe.
Yeah.
But you should be moving. You should be moving through full range of motion. The magic's in the movements. You don't need to necessarily add any weight to recover. But and then take note of how you feel after the competition, what the volume was like, and then you kind of just got to learn.
Yep.
And then apply that to yourself. It's the best thing about CrossFit. It really teaches you about yourself and about your body, and you need to pay attention and then adjust. It's really as simple as that.
Yeah, and if you're feeling beat up, like, it's okay to do something different that week after. Like Josh said, come in and move. Don't do nothing the entire week. That's not great either. But come in and do a light bike. I think we have a whole group of programs, don't we?
We have
bodybuilding programs.
We have more coming as well.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, and then tapering before an event too. A lot of people don't think about that. It is to your advantage to appropriately taper for an event, especially a big event. Remember, after you get done working out, if you work out once a day, when you're done working out, you're at the weakest you're going to be for that day. So if you taper appropriately, you can go into your competition fitter and stronger than you normally are because you've decreased your volume. I had someone in class doing lighter weights, and the coach came around and was looking at her, and I said, "Hey, yeah, she's tapering." And he said, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I talked to the athlete, and she said, "Yeah, I didn't know. I should tell the coach." Yeah, always tell the coach if you're tapering, so they know what's going on.
Yeah, we're not gonna bat an eye at that. Yeah, and when Josh says tapering, like Josh said, if you're training 5 days a week, an hour a day, maybe you're cutting that down to 45-minute sessions, 2 weeks out.
Decreasing your weights, decreasing your reps.
What specifically is at the competition, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're just focusing on the movements that you need to be ready for the competition. You're only doing what's necessary.
Yep. Hey, coach, I have a competition this weekend. It's Tuesday, and I'm going to be going about 70% today. I'm going to be 70% intensity, and I'm also going to be dropping my weights down because I know that the work I do today is in no way going to impact me this weekend.
Yeah.
If I can make it worse by destroying myself today on Tuesday, but I'm not going to do anything today that's going to make me better on Friday except for taper correctly.
That's right. If you're 2 weeks out and you're still trying to learn a skill, I'm sorry, but you're probably not going to get that by your competition. Another good reason maybe to have a personal coach or to do some personal training sessions. That's something a coach can help you out with, tapering for meets. Can we have tryouts for Vikings kickers out back? We were going to do that, and then they signed Dan Bailey yesterday. I'm pretty sure any of us could have kicked better this weekend. I feel bad for the guy. We won't name him, but he is gone now from Minnesota. I think they left his body at Lambeau Field. Other than progression, what is your favorite gym to go to? I'm going to say nature. Just outside, pull-ups off trees, trail runs, walking. I didn't know there were any other gyms in Rochester besides progression.
Max effort in Vegas is nice. Otherwise, yeah, outside. I used to like going to the Healthy Living Center.
Yeah.
And swimming or just walking around there.
Mm-hmm.
But since they added that not CrossFit area that looks a lot like a CrossFit area, I really can't go there anymore because the form I see is just devastating and I can't say anything.
Yeah, I guess I like to get out and use the public facilities, bike trails and whatnot. I'm a big fan of doing stuff outside whenever you can. God, we had a crew for a while that went trail running in the winter. That's always fun. So yeah, outdoors, max effort, CrossFit Las Vegas. It is fun to drop in other gyms, check it out.
Just get a plane ticket and fly out there, check out the gym. It's nice.
Go to the strip.
25, at least 25-foot high ceilings, and then there's usually Cirque du Soleil people in there flying around. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
pretty cool.
and if you're in Vegas,
show.
if you're staying downtown, get a monorail pass. It's
Yeah,
a really easy way to get around.
Get a monorail pass.
$36 for 4 days. In your opinion, what is the threshold before going to a medical professional for a possible injury? Wait a few days for any pain to clear up, or go right away? Asking for a friend. This is a pretty serious question. Maybe
Know
should
yourself, right? Know yourself. We have a lot of medical professionals that hang out here too. You could ask them quick. For myself, I have some sort of thing that's bothering me. I'll usually wait. I mean, if it's I have certain things that always happen to me, so I'm gonna wait probably 2 weeks.
Yeah.
See if it heals up. I know that's about how long it usually takes, and if it doesn't, then I'm gonna go seek help.
Yep.
I mean, this is not like I'm in agonizing pain. If I'm in agonizing pain, I'm going to the doctor.
Yeah, if it's something out of the norm, the day of, don't hesitate. Just go. If you have the access to it, just go. Okay. I think it's pretty obvious between like an actual injury and just nagging pain too. So actual injury, you're probably going to need help going to the doctor or something like that. So it's probably going to be an immediate thing to go see a medical professional. If something doesn't get better over 2 weeks either, like you need to do something different if it's not getting better. 2 weeks is a max I would wait on something. One of the first things I'll start to do is decrease my volume or to change up my workouts to see if a certain movement is affecting me. So oftentimes I know I've had low back issues in the past. And so I'll take out, maybe hinging movements. And a lot of times that will get rid of a lot of movements I can do. But sometimes excluding certain movements from your workout that you think might be the issue will help clear things up right away. Or maybe incorporating extra accessory work that you haven't been doing. So like if you constantly have low back pain, well, when's the last time that you've done something to train your lower back? Obviously, we hit the major muscle groups when we deadlift and we do WODs, but there's a lot of, like if you went to the spinal hygiene seminar, you probably got a lot of small movements. And we've posted this before too, like bird dogs. If you got low back issues, that's a great one to go to. We can ask a coach, hey coach, I got some shoulder issues. If you've stretched it out, if you don't think it's a medical thing yet, sometimes strengthening that area also is going to help. But again, if the pain lasts more than 2 weeks and it's not getting better, it's only getting worse, you need to go see a PT or a doctor about it. Get access to it.
And during those 2 weeks, I had this happen to me a lot. I have certain issues that come back all the time. So during those 2 weeks, I'll just change the workout to fit me in class. You might see me doing something a little bit different. There's usually a reason. So, that's always an option too. And you can ask a coach. That's why they're there.
Yeah, that's
hey,
what,
coach,
you're paying
today.
for.
What should I do today? Okay, just do cleans, and don't do the jerk.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're paying for every single class. We're here for you. It is not a burden. It will never be a burden. That's what we do every single class. And that's what you guys pay for as professional coaches there. So, next question. I do not enjoy watching the Green Bay Packers play football. They are my least favorite NFL team. When they score a touchdown, I think to myself, no. When the other team scores a touchdown, I think to myself, yes. How do you feel? I feel the same way. I really, I don't care so much except for weeks when they're playing my favorite football team. Then I definitely feel this way when they're playing the Vikings, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't wish anyone ill will, but they have a hard go at it. They're from Green Bay, tiny market.
It's already tough.
Yeah, it's already tough. Yeah, I don't even know how they survive.
That's all that's there.
NFL must give them money.
The community owns them. They sold stocks. They sold shares in the Packers.
Sure, the community owns them.
And you get a cool little placard that you're a shareholder in the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Cool.
So they got that going for them.
That's a good scam.
Next question. What's your opinion on tracking macros? I heard somebody say this, I think just the other day. He's definitely not sitting next to me, but have you tried eating real food yet? And I guess it depends on why you're asking. If you're thinking, hey, I'm not a macro person, or you've tried this and you don't like it, again, have you tried just eating real food? Because even when you're doing macros, that's how you're going to get the best results. And we're talking real food, lean meats, vegetables, nuts, seeds, some fruit, a little starch, no sugar.
Tracking macros definitely works. There's millions of people that can attest to that.
There's a lot of people in our gym who can attest to that.
Yeah, it doesn't. Tracking macros is good. That's my opinion. You need to switch to real food first, and you need to do it consistently. That doesn't mean you do it 4 days a week and then you go to Whistle Binkies and spend 3 hours there drinking beer and having all kinds of stuff and then saying, oh, why isn't this working? Tracking my macros doesn't work. It's like, okay, well, you're not really doing it. So eat real food first consistently. 80-20 really doesn't work for the majority of people because it turns into 60-40 and then 40-60.
No, we've all been there.
I've been there.
Josh has told you, I think the other week he told you a story about starting on Doritos and Mountain Dew when you first started CrossFit.
Doritos and Mountain Dew, yep.
I used to be a huge Denny's fan. Like I almost had my own booth there. This is a long time ago before I was ever into weightlifting or CrossFit.
Yeah. So my opinion on tracking macros is that it's great.
Yeah. Do you like tracking your strength numbers? I think it goes in the same boat. And pretty soon, if you're going to be on the whiteboard already, you're going to have the macro tracking option.
Well, you got to add it on. I've been talking to them extensively about this too. We've been exchanging emails with them. So yeah, it's like a $3 add-on.
Oof.
Yeah, $30 a year or $3.
MyFitnessPal's free.
It is. If you're in a nutrition program, it's free as well. Yeah, I don't know, $3 a month. That's pretty standard. They gotta pay for their expenses too.
What's your health worth?
Yeah.
I think, like Josh said too, don't get us wrong. It's not that we don't go out and enjoy our weekends too, but don't forget to include that in your macros so you get the whole picture of what's actually going on. You know what I mean? So if you go have a bunch of beers on a Saturday night, put that in your macros. See how it affects it. Okay, that's just be real. That's the best way to get macros to work, because tracking stuff is good. Even if you're eating real food, write down a food log. Right?
Yeah, and you can start out many different ways. I mean, I know taking a picture of everything you put in your mouth is effective for some people.
Yep. I've had that work with people.
Yep. So
make it real. A lot of times macros helps you make it real and get a real picture of what you're doing to yourself or
yeah,
putting
it's
into your body.
very eye-opening. I mean, when I first did it, I was amazed at how little protein I was eating and how much fat I was eating.
Oh yeah, same thing.
I was blown away by it. Just I was so over on fat and so under on protein.
Oh, I pretty much just my whole diet just all I eat is fat. This is what the macros told me in MyFitnessPal.
I just swim in olive oil, basically.
Yeah, that's what it said to me too. Mine said coconut oil.
I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
Please tell us the history of the gym mascot, Jerry. So I don't know if he's officially the gym mascot, but I know for a long time he has been the Rochester Barbell Club mascot. But
he founded the Rochester Barbell Club in 98?
Yeah, 96? When he came over from Spain.
Yeah.
He was a Spanish conquistador. And anyway, so
he loved barbells.
He loved barbells. He didn't know what they were called yet, but they were barbells.
Back when kettlebells were still just cannonballs.
That's right. But anyway, so long story short, one of our old locations, probably, we've been here 4 or 5 years now, so this must have been 5 or 6 years ago.
It was 2012, I think.
2012. We had these locker rooms, and we had these cubbies in there. And behind the cubbies, one day this painting was found.
You don't know how it got here, do you?
Well, I do know, but I was going to let you tell that part since you've told it to me a few times now. So we found this painting, and I'll let Josh backtrack here in a second. And anyways, we have a member of the gym who said, hey, let's call him Uncle Jerry. Little did we know, when this person looked up the origins and found the origins of this painting, and we didn't know at first if it was an original or not, but it was a Rembrandt. It's a Rembrandt, and we still aren't sure if it's original or not. A lot of people like to say it's a copy, but
it is.
Whatever, Josh. But anyways, so the big thing behind this picture is the guy's name was actually Geraldo, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
And then
the person might have known that.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it
It's
Blessing?
Apples and Oranges. Yeah, it was Blessing.
He's pretty smart. He might have known that.
He looks like an art history guy.
Yeah. Totally.
So anyways, Josh, how did the painting even get to CFP? Because for a long time we're just like, how did this thing show up here?
Yeah, so we one time we had a Christmas party and we had a white elephant party with all the members.
That's a good white elephant gift.
Yeah, it was one of the gifts, and whoever won it didn't want it, so they hid it behind the cubbies before they left.
And I just want to point out that's called
anti-theft.
I don't even know what that's called, but that's
ditch.
Not playing.
Jerry ditch.
If you're playing the white elephant game, right, you take your gift home regardless. Okay? Except for if it's a jar of nasty pickle jalapeno things, then you hide that at Michael's house.
I think it's pickled fruit.
Pickled fruit. That's somewhere. Oh. But anyways, yeah. Josh, didn't you win a goldfish one year? You took that home.
It was a beta, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I ended up spending about $100 on that fish.
That's commitment to white elephant.
That's right.
That's commitment. That's how you play white elephant. What are some good mobility? Oh, we're back to the start again. So
cool.
That was all we had for questions today.
We're at 50 minutes again.
Great. We're at 50 minutes on the podcast. They're getting longer every week. Again, in the show notes, we'll post a few things for you. We already have the mobility at the desk. We have the no chalk in the woods. Posted. We're going to link up there momentarily. I'll go back through and see if there's anything else we should link up as well. Maybe find a couple articles and whatnot to link in there. So
hopefully the replay isn't jumpy.
Yeah. Again, if the replay is jumpy, close your eyes and just listen. All right. So have a fantastic rest of your day. We will see you next Wednesday from the Prog.cast.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, do you have